All right, we are live. If you guys are listening, please be sure to drop in any questions that you have throughout today's live video. We'll let some people hop on here, broadcasting on Facebook inside the private Builders of Authority Facebook group. So definitely click the join button if you haven't done so already. If you can hear me, and we were having some technical difficulties on the last couple of lives. So if you can hear me, just drop a comment in there to make sure I'm going good. Just going to let people know to drop their questions in the chat box throughout. Awesome. Looks like we are good to go. Perfect. Well, I appreciate all you hopping on here today. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Hope you're enjoying the last week here in 2023 before 2024. I know particularly for me, I made a post about this earlier today. I used this week to really kind of game plan, review a lot of different things that happened throughout the year, but it's a nice time when things are a little bit slower to make sure that I go into 2024 all steam, all fired up ahead. So kind of what I'm doing here this week is doing a lot of that stuff, getting a ton of content built out for the rest of what I'm planning on doing in 2024. So got a lot of cool stuff coming in our Builders of Authority Facebook group. Again, if you haven't joined, do so already, because we are going to be starting next week actually only doing the live trainings in that group. So it's a free group for you to be able to join. Tons of daily content, a lot of good connections, a lot of good people in there. We're going to be doing some other live trainings where we're going to bring people on inside of that group as well. So as we continue to build that up, I think we're at 270 something members in there. It's going to be really, really fun. Some of the stuff that we're going to do. I know I announced last week we're going to be throwing an event in March. So that is TBD on the exact date. But we are going to be throwing that event in March, likely either March 13th or March 19th. I actually have a call tomorrow where we're going to be ironing out a bunch of those details. So really excited about that specific event, excited about the course that's going to be dropping in mid to late January. So you can go to buildauthority.co and pre-sale or pre-purchase. We have a special price going on there for $9.99 for that course, as well as our Builders of Authority Mastermind. So we're up to 9 members in that group. That group comes with a variety of different things. You're going to get free access to the course. You're going to have a private Facebook group with just those members that are in that group. We have a 45-minute onboarding call with myself. We have 3 trainings every single week. So on Mondays and Fridays, we have office hours where you can come and just learn a little bit more about what we're teaching in Builders of Authority, but you can ask questions, really get into the nitty-gritty on everything that we're doing. And then we have an hour-long training, about 45 minutes of training with 15 minutes of Q&A every Wednesday. So if you're interested, we have a rate right now of $250 a month or $2,500 for the year. So that way you get 2 free months. So if you're interested, you can go to the link in the description of this video. You can also send me a message. More than happy to hop on a call and see if it would be a good fit for you. But a ton of amazing things that are coming in there. So without further ado, we're going to dive into today's training. If you have questions throughout the live, please be sure to drop those in whatever platform you're watching on. So I know we're on Facebook, we're on a Facebook group, we're on LinkedIn, and we're on YouTube. But today's training, what we're going to talk about today is how to leverage Facebook groups in order to grow your personal brand. And so a lot of times people are thinking, okay, I got to create all this content for my personal page and things like that. The strategies that we talk about are not one size fits all. It's not, you don't want to have all of your eggs in one basket. So when we talk about the personal brand, a lot of times it's coming obviously from your social media platforms. But today specifically, we're going to talk about how, regardless if you're posting a bunch on your personal page, which 100% obviously works and what I recommend, you can actually leverage a ton of growth for your business through your personal brand by leveraging Facebook groups. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a Facebook group that you are an admin on or that you run, although I do recommend that, which we'll talk about here in a second, but also how to leverage other people's Facebook groups, whether it's a small Facebook group, whether it's like a local buy, sell, trade group. Regardless of what it is, I'm going to talk to you about some of those specific strategies. So the first thing that we're going to touch on today, because it doesn't require you to create anything, is how to go to Facebook groups that you're currently in right now, or find Facebook groups that you're currently in, or find groups that you want to be in, and leverage those assets, leverage the people, leverage the networks that are already in there. So if you're a local based business, right, where you do business with people in a local situation, or even if you just want to be known as an authority within your local market, tapping into the local business groups, so local St. Louis business groups, for example, or the buy, sell, trade St. Louis groups, or the I know a guy, a gal Facebook groups, all those types of groups that are out there, right? You can go in there and do a variety of different things. All of this stuff is about how do I provide value without actually selling? How do I get connected to the right people without actually trying to get something from them, right? So you don't want to go in there, and I definitely don't recommend you just going in and showing up and throwing up and trying to sell your stuff, but pay attention in those groups. Understand each group's rules and regulations when it comes to self-promotion or promoting or posting in general, right? But what I typically look for, like when I was going back and I was just starting my business, one of the main things that I did in order to grow and scale my company originally was get really connected in those groups and then try to give value and promote those people that were already doing great stuff and already getting a lot of recognition, already having a lot of authority themselves. So, for example, like a local St. Louis business group or a local community group where people are going and they're saying, who is the tree service company that I need to hire? Who is the remodeler? Who's the realtor? Who's the insurance agent? I would pay attention and I would look for two things. The first thing is who's obviously the company that's getting tagged the most? Who does everybody recommend for X, Y, and Z service? And I would want to go and I would want to connect with them because clearly they've already built some type of brand, whether it's through their business or personally, that people know, like, and trust, and that people want to refer more stuff to. So I want to be connected with them because they've already built this authority, and I want to be able to provide value to them. So what I would do is I would then go add X, Y, and Z person that keeps getting tagged over and over again. And I would start to figure out how I could send more business their way, right? I'd figure out when people are friends with me and they're looking for the tree guy, they're looking for the auto service, they're looking for the realtor. How can I connect them to people in my network that are looking for that exact same thing? So how can I start to provide value, push business their way without asking for anything in return? Well, that did two things. Is one, it allowed me to connect people in my network and provide value without needing anything. And then two, once I started to tag all of these people over and over and over again, they finally would reach out and be like, Adam, I don't know what it is that you do, but I want to figure out how I can reciprocate and provide all of those referrals, all of those value adds back to you, right? So people were coming back to me and being like, hey, Adam, I've seen you go out of your way to do this. How can I help you, right? The second thing was that it was just obviously helping us get in a better position in networks, in people of influence. And I would figure out, going back to that group, I'd figure out who are the people that are consistently tagging other people? Who are the people that are spending a bunch of time on social media that clearly take a ownership of referring the right people? Because when it came to digital marketing, I wanted to be that person that they refer. And since then, in groups all over, in local groups and national groups and industry specific groups, like we get tagged all day long. We'll get 3 to 5 leads a day, which I know I've talked about. Like 3 to 5 leads a day is typically what we get through social media of some sort of fashion because of this exact strategy that I'm teaching you. So again, this doesn't take you building a group. This doesn't take anything. This is literally you going into your local groups or your industry specific groups and figuring out how you can connect with all those people. So I would go and I would try to connect with the admins. I would try to connect with the people that spend a bunch of time in there and that are going and tagging other businesses time and time again, because I wanted to be that person for digital marketing. So I was doing this ever evolving strategy time by time, just growing and growing and growing and growing and figuring out how I can just connect with people online. Because this was also going on during the midst of the pandemic, like 2 months in, 3 months in, where there wasn't the local networks, there wasn't the in-person events, there was none of that stuff going on. So like I was able to just grow my business literally from my home, and it was incredible. So you can still do this, and this is stuff that we still do on a daily basis. All these things that I'm teaching you on these live weekly trainings and in Builders of Authority is stuff that I'm literally doing in the nitty gritty. You've probably seen me do these things in real time. I just want to give you the behind the scenes on, hey, here's how you go do it, and here's how you implement it, right? The third thing that I did, so I was going in and I was trying to build my own group at the time for local St. Louis business owners. I was going and doing, whether it was a form of like a live Facebook video, you can do it in the form of podcasting. You can literally do it however you want to do it. I would go and then I would interview all the people that kept getting tagged, right? So X, Y, and Z business owners, X, Y, and Z, all these different things. I would literally go interview them on my Facebook, on my social media stuff, in my groups, and get their stuff out even further. So then that way, when I did refer them over, people in my network already knew who these people were, but it was great content because then I was tapping into their networks because it was live on Facebook. And if nothing else, they were then taking that content and resharing my information to their network as well. So it's really a three-pronged approach, with the fourth approach in there being, if it was somebody that just I couldn't get through, right? They kept getting tagged on Facebook, but it was like their business, right? I would then go add that business owner also on Instagram. I would also go follow all of their company pages. And then I would add them as a connection on LinkedIn. So that way they saw me on all these different platforms that I was operating on a consistent basis. So I can be in front of them in more places as well. And sometimes if it was like a large opportunity where I'm like, man, if I could just get their attention, if I could be the business that they used for digital marketing. And of course, I'm in, I know a lot of people are in a variety of different industries watching this video, so this might not pertain to you, but I was like, hey, how can I stick out from the crowd? So I would literally write handwritten notes or cards and send it to their office. And just be like, hey, my name is Adam. I saw you're getting tagged a bunch all over social media and X, Y, and Z group. I would love the opportunity to sit down for coffee, buy you lunch, whatever it might be. I just want to get to know you a little bit better so that way I can refer you just like you're continuing to get referred out across all these different platforms. So if it was a big opportunity, I'd try to figure out how can I go outside of the box to get their attention and be front of mind when they're looking exactly for what it is that I do, just provide value again over and over again. And then I would go, and as I mentioned, I'd follow their social media pages, I'd do all that stuff, and then I would start to share their stuff. So then that way it would get into my network and into my people's point of view when they're looking for that stuff. So there's a full approach that you can do and optimize. Just do that on a daily basis where you don't even have to be doing anything. You don't even have to be running a Facebook group in order to take advantage of that. Now, there's also the Facebook groups that are more like Builders of Authority, where there's not necessarily a ton of stuff going on in terms of like, hey, who is the go-to person for this? But I would show up in Builder of Authority type groups or industry specific type groups or these online mastermind groups and just figure out how can I provide value, motivation, any type of resource or value add without needing to go ahead and just sell my stuff. How can I add the people on social media that I would like to do business with or at least be connected with when it came to this online sphere of social media, right? So none of this stuff takes any sort of time or any sort of money or additional resource. Like it literally just takes time and energy, right? And so I would do this literally every single day, and I still do a lot of this stuff consistently, and it pays off time and time again. Now my team is doing a lot of this stuff as well. So like as you grow and as you scale with this, there's ways to delegate, automate, elevate through all of these different strategies. So that's strategy number one. And again, if you guys have any questions, thoughts, feedback, feel free to leave those, here below. I'll answer them in real time. I'll leave some time here at the end. Got about 10, 15 minutes left here. So the second aspect is building your own group, right? So everybody's like, Adam, there's already groups that are out there. So this is really like, if you don't have a group right now, is there value in starting one? 100%, like 100%. When you can own the media within the media, right? So it's like, you obviously don't own Facebook, but you own this little real estate on the platform that you're operating in. Now, of course, you could go and like build something outside of Facebook or any of these social media groups, but like path of least resistance, of course, the thing you could go to right after this live is go build your own online community. That's what I'm doing with Builders of Authority. But if I were a local business owner, or I was a business owner that could do business with anybody everywhere, I would be building that group right now. If you already have an existing group, of course, you're ahead of the game. You can also go buy other groups. So then that way you can get influence right off the bat. I know quite a few people that are literally in the business of buying Facebook groups that have a bunch of their ideal clients in there and then taking them over and revamping them for however which way they would like. So that is an option as well. I know people that obviously build those groups up as well and then sell them. But when you are able to have your own group, you control everything, right? You control the communication. You control who gets in there. You basically have everything at your fingertips. Now, of course, it is a lot of work, right? So I'm trying to add people into Builders of Authority right now. I'm trying to do the weekly trainings and add other things. I want people not to look at my group, and I'm sure you won't as well as, this is just another group. No, I'm trying to figure out how I can provide value consistently. So then that way people do multiple things. One, obviously join Builders of Authority. But two, how can people that are in this sphere of my world get connected with the other people that are in this sphere of my world? And how can I bring them together? So that way everybody wins. How can all sides of my world do business together? And I've seen like so many different instances of whether it's me referring, whether it's me tagging, whether it's somebody commenting on a post of mine, somebody needing X, Y, and Z service, people getting connected that way too, right? So I know there's so much value in there. But when you're building your own Facebook group, you are able to tap in and do things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do with a moment's notice, right? You wouldn't be able to just like go on and then write in a group and get the attention of a couple hundred people instantly and be able to send them a notification that you made the post, right? You wouldn't be able to create leverage to throw the event that we're going to be throwing in March. There's all these new components that come in, and I have had multiple groups over the course of the last couple of years. I've been admins on other people's groups, right? And I haven't taken it as serious as I needed to, but now is the right time. Like there's no better time to do this than right now, because it's only going to get harder the longer that you wait. It's only going to get more complex the longer that you wait. But with Facebook groups specifically, you can go live in them. You can do consistent daily posting. You can basically build up your own referral network and throw so much value in there and basically gatekeep what's going on. You can obviously moderate and make sure posts that need to get approved. Like there's so many different aspects to basically control the narrative and then be able to provide value to everybody that's in there. You can do giveaways. You can do promotions of businesses, like all of those types of things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do, or you could do, but you just don't have control of ownership, right? All of those things, while they might seem simple, are extremely, extremely effective. I've seen, Apex, for example, consistently grow and grow and grow through Sales Talk with Sales Pros. There's so many other groups that are out there that literally the business or the brand or whatever on the back end is growing simultaneously and at a quicker rate than a lot of these groups are because of the foundation, because of the resources that are available to be there. So kind of coming full circle, right? I don't see anybody having questions, but if you have questions, we're going to wrap this thing up here in a couple of minutes. Coming back full circle, right? If you're in the mindset that, hey, I want to start slow and steady with personal branding, which is posting consistently on your social media. One way that you can do it right now, literally without doing a lot of posting, is going into groups and getting connected and adding and providing value. If you're like, hey, I'm a connector of people more than I am a content creator, this is literally your world. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to walk you through in these trainings all of these different strategies, because there's hundreds of them, that will equate to you having a personal brand, building that personal brand, and then your business is simultaneously growing there. So there's no excuse that you are, hey, I just am not this type of person to be able to do what you're talking about, Adam. No, I'm going to literally show you so many different things. You just need to start implementing them, right? So if you don't want to create the content, if you don't want to do those things, which I 100% recommend, being involved in these Facebook groups, creating your own Facebook group, having all of these different avenues to grow and scale what it is that you do online is so extremely beneficial. And when you get connected with the right people and then you provide value and you end up tapping into their networks, you tap into the networks of people that have already built a brand, and you're just providing value over and over and over again. And then they're like, hey, Adam, you've done so much for me. I want to open up my Rolodex. I want to start promoting you. I want to start giving back. I want to start doing X, Y, and Z. Then, as I talked about last week in a video of building out referral partnerships and programs, is you then get one yes or one sale or one whatever you want to call it, one opened door that then opens you up to a multitude of opportunities for your brand and for your business. Yes, you can go and knock in through digital marketing, get one client by one client by one client. Super important. But when you build one relationship that gets you one open door, that then opens you to hundreds of consistent opportunities, I'm taking those opportunities obviously all day long. Now, you don't just want to have, if you're a business, you don't just want to have word of mouth. You don't just want to have a referral program. You don't just want to have digital marketing. You need to have all of these different things in order to effectively grow your business and have your personal brand firing on all cylinders. Facebook groups, other people's Facebook groups, and your own Facebook group is just one avenue of all the different lines you want to have in the water in order to effectively grow and scale your personal brand, which as a byproduct, your business will 100% grow from that. So just think about these different opportunities. Think about where your ideal clients or where your ideal referral partners are hanging out online. So then that way you can be the go-to X, Y, and Z in that group whenever anybody needs that stuff. So don't overcomplicate. Don't think that you have to reinvent the wheel with all of this stuff. Of course, again, as I've mentioned, if you start posting today on social media and you do it for 90 straight days consistently, you will absolutely grow your business or be in a position in your business and in your personal brand in 90 days that you currently aren't today, right? But it doesn't have to just be that. You also take advantage of the Facebook groups. You build your own Facebook group. You figure out with all of this stuff, how do I show up today? And how do I provide a ton of value today for people without asking them to buy what I have, right? Of course, I'm going to need people to buy what it is that I sell. But if I don't need that, if that's not 100% what I need right now, you should be in that giver's gain mindset. How can I give? How can I create? How can I be so value driven? When you operate from that mindset versus a mindset of desperation and being like, I need to make this post, and within 1 week, I need to close 3 deals. When you don't have that mindset, but you have that first mindset, that's where the good stuff happens. That's where the building of the foundation for the future happens, when you operate in that mindset. So I hope this video, I hope this training, I hope all the stuff that we're doing in Builders of Authority, I hope this is making an impact. If it is, feel free to leave a comment with the nuggets that you took away today. Again, we're going to be doing this training every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central. Starting next week, it is going to be just in our private Facebook group. So be sure to join that private Facebook group so then that way you can get access to all the past trainings, all the updates, all the content, everything that we're doing in Builders of Authority. So that way you don't miss out on any of this stuff. This is only going to get more technical in a good way. I'm going to give you all the strategies that I'm doing. We've been talking a lot about like generalizations or X, Y's, and Z's, right? Hey, here's what you should be doing. You should be posting. We're going to talk about exactly where to find a post. We're going to talk about specifically what to be doing in these Facebook groups. Like we're going to go and we're going to dive deep. So in that way, in 2024, you're building your personal brand, but you're doing it in a way that fits your style. All these different things are things that I'm doing and I've tested, some of which we're doing more than others, some of which I'm doing versus what my team is doing. But more importantly, they're things that work. I'm not going to tell you to do something that I'm not already doing or teach on something that was relevant years ago. This stuff is all front and center, relevant and impactful if you just try it out, be consistent with it, and do the work. So hope you all have an amazing rest of this week. Hope you have a rest of amazing of 2023. And I hope 2024 is set up to be the best year yet. I'm really excited about what we're going to be doing here in Builders of Authority. So if you're interested, join our free Facebook group. If you're interested in the mastermind, send me a message. Let's get on a call. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about all the amazing things that we're doing in there. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you next week. See you in 2024.